So Amazon Prime has finally dropped Samaritan, and I've been waiting a while to watch this after I seen the first trailer, but is it worth watching or should you skip it? Before I answer that question and go into my spoiler-free review, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Help me out to 1K subscriber. We already hit 500. We can do it twice with your help. Thank you so much for your support. Now, if you didn't understand the story of Samaritan or understand the plot of this from the trailers, I'm just going to do a quick recap from it. So, Granite City had a hero back in the day by the name of Samaritan who apparently died in an altercation with his villain, and his people believe that he's no longer here. Now, you have this little kid who believes and are in love with the fact that Samaritan might still be alive, living and breathing amongst us, to the point where he even accused the wrong people of being Samaritan down the line. Like, he's done this a couple times, and he's like this huge fan of Samaritan, a huge fan, even to the point where he's like drawing pictures of him in his notebook. He has a symbol on the back of his notebook. He's going outside, spray painting Samaritan on top of the garbage cans and things like that. So he's in love with the fact that this guy might still be alive and breathing, even to the point where he's watching conspiracy theorist videos supporting his idea that Samaritan might be around. Now, if you guys watched the trailer, you saw that Sam clearly was getting chased by a bunch of these kids. Like, it was like a gang, and I won't go into why he got in trouble with the gang because that's a little bit of spoiler territory, but I will say this. One of the gang members looked like a variant of Lil Wayne, in my personal opinion. If you see him, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, as he's being chased down, you saw in the trailer that Joe comes out to help him. And Joe is just basically this person who's a recluse. He just likes, he stays away from everybody. He just stays in his apartment all day. He even said in the movie where he was like, being around people makes me depressed. And you know what? I have to agree with them to a degree. Sometimes that does happen. Like, being around certain people do make you depressed, but that's just how he is. And the only time that you really see him outside is when he goes to the dumpster. He pulls out some old beaten down electronics, take them upstairs, tinkers with them, fixes them, takes them to the pawn shop and sell it so then he can make some money. That's how he makes his income. Now, fast forward to the part where he meets Sam, where Sam is in trouble. He comes over there, as he did in the trailer. He take care of business, and Sam sees this guy tossing kids in the air, throwing them around, saving the day. And in his mind, he's like, yo, that has to be Samaritan. And you can't really blame the kid. I mean, you see somebody come in and save the day. One, has superhero strength. Two, you would assume that he is a superhero. I mean, I think it's easy to assume that that may be the case. Now, during this whole entire time, he's trying to ask some questions like, you're Samaritan, you are this guy. And Joe, being played by Sylvester Stallone, he's just trying to convince him like, no, that's not me. I'm not him. You got the wrong person. I just got this and this and this. And then eventually, like in the trailer, once he get hit by a car and he kind of fixes his bones and puts his body back together, that just doubles down Sam's theory that this guy may be Samaritan. And then their whole relationship develop, and they go back and forth. And then Joe makes certain decisions to kind of expose himself to the public about his super strength and things like that, that causes consequences that affect Sam. So now he feels like that it is his responsibility to save Sam and fix the situation because he's the one that caused it. Now, one of the main things I will say that is a big thing to me in this movie that I actually loved a lot is the twist at the end. There's a twist at the end that some people may get before it even comes, but in the beginning, you're not going to really know what it is because they throw things in front of you to try to throw you off a little bit. Like, this might be that, that might be this, which I think is pretty clever. Some people might catch it fast, but you know what? I appreciate and I respect the attempt to make it a little bit different than what we thought it would be, because I thought it was going to be really straightforward. So the kid who plays Sam clearly, Javon Warner Watson, he's a very, very likable actor. He does a tremendous job in this role right here. He's very witty. He's very funny. He makes this experience a lot better than it actually should be. And also, Sylvester Stallone, he pretty much plays Rocky in Creed. He pretty much does that. He's this old, disgruntled person who has a past of being involved in something that he doesn't want to talk about as much anymore. But I'm starting to believe that that may be who Sylvester Stallone actually is. I don't know, but he plays that role a little bit too good, but he does enough to do a great job in this role. One of the standouts for me too is the guy who plays Albert Kazler, Martin Starr. I don't know if you guys remember him from Freaks and Geeks or maybe from Silicon Valley. I think he's very sarcastic, but it's hilarious to me. His banter between him and Sam is completely hilarious to me. But things I will say that I thought was like kind of questionable is Palau playing Cyrus. I mean, he didn't do a terrible job, but it just felt so kind of cheesy to me my personal opinion. Like, him and his girlfriend, they give me like this early 2000s, late 90s villain trope. like villains that I would think be like will be in like the old Double Dragon movie, or villains that will be like in some old 2000, I don't know, thug movie. The way they dress, it just seems like it's like a parody of a villain in a sense. I don't. And also on top of that, there were some things that happened in this that was kind of weird. Like there's a moment, and this is not a spoiler, where the gang goes into Joe's apartment, and for some reason they walk into there and they just start shooting everything. And I'm like, why would you just run in there and just shoot everything? You don't even know anyone's in there. You're in a neighborhood where you're trying to keep it quiet, but also the bullets can go through the window and hit someone else. So what made you think running in there and just shooting everything was going to make sense? Why not just burn it? Why not just throw it away? I don't understand why they did that. Also, there's some cheesy lines in there here and there. It's not that bad, but obviously with Sylvester Stallone being in the movie and him being an action hero from the 90s, he's the 80s to 90s, he's gonna have to say some cheap, like there was an explosion that happened and he was like, have a blast, like I'm like, you didn't have to do that. But ultimately what I love is the fact that we're able to see an original superhero on the screen that isn't attached to a universe, that isn't attached to the big two, which is Marvel and DC. Not that I have a problem with them two, but it's also great to see a new superhero that we have no previous attachments to, no preconceived notions, no idea of what's about to happen next, and be able to sit back and just enjoy the ride. And the action scenes were pretty cool. They were okay. They wasn't like anything amazing. I mean, what do you really expect out of someone who's up there in age and that's regaining, you know, their steps as far as having superpowers and things like that? He's not going to be doing backflips like Spider-Man. He's not going to be doing anything acrobatic like Black Panther. He's just going to be what he is. It's exactly what you expect out of it. But overall, as a film, I think it's a pretty average film. You know, I think it was entertaining. It was funny at times, but it's a pretty average film. It's not anything that's going to blow you out the water, but if you don't really care about anything being super deep, I think that you would enjoy this. And if you ask me to give this a score out of 5, in my personal opinion, I would say maybe a 3 out of 5, 2.9, 3 out of 5, maybe that much. But anyways, did you guys watch this? Have you seen it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't, are you excited to experience Samaritan? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.